Trapmore gang, for the first time in quite a long time, we might actually be seeing some good news in the David situation because people on Reddit are celebrating the latest news that apparently David has seemingly been dropped from his record label, Darkroom Records. Okay, people are comparing the website from January 2026 to September 2025, and it's looking like he has been dropped. It says Darkroom Records is a forward-thinking, full-service record label with a focus on artist development, creative strategies, and fan engagement. Darkroom is a driving force behind the careers of leading music artists from around the world, such as Adam Cloby, Billie Eilish, Bren, Cian Ducrot. There ain't no D, ain't no name starting with D there. Ain't seeing no D. But back in September, the boy David was on the list. He was in the door back on the 9th of September, just a day after, or just around about, I think that was the day after the car got towed from his property. David was all up in there. It says, I last checked in December, at the start of December, so the grand jury, Robin Court, and the possible imminent indictment has finally forced Darkroom Records' hand. Okay, and this is the source. This is their original website. And people are ecstatic. Okay, people are loving it. People are saying it's pretty hard to fulfill your contractual obligations from a prison cell. You can't tour when you're sitting in a steel cage waiting for your commissary order to come. That's savage. They're saying maybe they'll give him a closet and some shoelaces. All right, let's chill out. People are saying, I wonder if Billie Eilish will break with Darkroom before this is all over. She's obviously Darkroom's cash cow, and at some point, I would guess she's going to realize the financial hit in her near term that she takes negotiating her out of her contract with them will be well worth it in the long run, or will Darkroom simply and quietly change its name at some point and Billie stays? People saying it's weird. Justin Lublina was, especially considering how weird Justin Lublina was towards Billie when she was a minor. They're saying there's some weird stuff going on over there. But hey, as of today, David still follows the CEO of Darkroom Records. Let's see if that changes in the future. And currently, the CEO is apparently still following David. People are saying, of course, people still get copyright strikes from them, so they haven't dropped him. The fact that people are buying this is baffling, so some people don't believe it. But they're saying you're misunderstanding how labels and copyright works. If you believe the two are correlated, upholding copyright means nothing in David's status as a signed artist, because that's literally how record labels function. They're doing their job. Owning the rights to the master is the industry standard. They keep it forever because it's a property right. The label is operating based on the property they own. Whether or not they drop him has nothing to do with the copyright strikes. People saying dropping him from the label wouldn't change their status as copyright holders on the music made while under the contract. One thing about this sub, people saying they really want to talk about the business side of music, but most people don't have the slightest understanding of how the business of labels work. What they're basically saying is that, look, they're still going to own his music and make money from it, even if he's been dropped from the label, all right? So, hey. They're saying his auto-tune voice, I never listened to his music since this case. I don't realize, it says, I didn't realize a person that can carry a note can auto-tune and tweak his voice for it to sell. Different songs, his voice sounds different, not because of talents, but the use of technology. Videos of him trying to sing his lyrics in an interview was like nails on a chalkboard. He'll be replaced with someone who can actually sing or is doing the same teched-out voice he has. Most likely he's going to use his brother as a means of making money with his music, using him as the one doing music. That way, money rolls in. He was even trying to get his sister into making songs. She, I'm not being mean, doesn't have talent. He certainly didn't. However, using her was to use her to attract young fans so he could have opportunities to be his predator self. I still am very disturbed that he was 6 hours in his little sister's closet. I don't care of his version. He lies a lot, especially about his past. Some people are saying from rags to riches to prison, from Fortnite to Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth prison blues, right? Says he was never in rags. They had money, and his dad was already in a good job in Queens. Yep, his dad always had money. He was never in any sort of rags. People are saying, what took so long? Took them long enough. Might not be true. All right. People are saying pretty sure it's just a PR move on Interscope's official website. It still shows David as one of their artists, and also his label manages the copyright for David's name, and it'll be updated as if you go to David's and go to the bottom of the site, it still says 2026 David official store, and the owner of Darkroom along with Interscope is still following David, meaning they're still in contact. So he's still signed. It's just a PR move most likely, but I could be wrong, so who knows? People saying that could be it. I have a feeling they're waiting to see what happens, whether or not he'll be officially indicted, and see if they can save something from his premature career. People saying not seeing his name on this list anymore honestly brings me so much joy. This took them way too long in my opinion, but I'm so glad to see they're finally doing the right thing and distancing themselves at a minimum. I hope this means that things are moving forward behind the scenes. Soft breakup launch. Thanks for keeping up with this. Peaches, you're amazing. All right. People saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but this just is a cosmetic change and doesn't mean much because his music and merch is still on. This is just a PR answer to all of the hits that the label gets. People saying, exactly. David is simply, in this case, not listed publicly on their website. Depending on how contracts were signed and how much money is flowing through, David and his team are still making money off of David's newfound fame. As long as David isn't arrested or charged by this fall, he could theoretically make a huge comeback, and there are still young people that are prepped to support a tour. Too late for a summer 2025 tour, but venues need to be booked in advance. People are saying it's true. Unfortunately, I mean, look at Snoop Dogg and also Diddy, who shot a woman in her face in a nightclub, allegedly, and Travis Scott. I really hope that we as a collective of humans don't allow this to keep happening, but no press is bad press, and the morbid curiosity of humans prevail. Saying darkroom legal's biggest burden. People saying, so does Darkroom have a thing about targeting talent that was homeschooled? Do they know that they can manipulate homeschooled young artists in a way that others can't? As discussed elsewhere in these comments, is there a history that we still don't know the full story of regarding Billy's possible psychological abuse by Darkroom? This would explain why. Would this explain why Darkroom's moneymaker is still with them? Have they made her feel indebted to them? And this is a little snippet about Billie Eilish being homeschooled. It says, Billie Eilish home was her school. There would be no Billie Eilish without her parents, Maggie Baird and Patrick O'Connell, two working actors who moved to Highland Park from New York to settle in what was, at the time, an affordable community for artists, along with her built-in best friend, brother Phineas O'Connell. Eilish speaks of her homeschooled upbringing fondly. That is actually quite an interesting connection because David was homeschooled as well, and people say that maybe he was taken out of school for some nefarious reasons. This says all actions have consequences. What kind of ending is this boy having, from a potential musical prospect to a prison cell? He was saying very interesting to see some action taken by his record label. No idea if this actually points to him being truly dropped or terminated from the label, but I've always wondered if his contract with the record company included a morals clause or decency clause, aka a contractual provision that allows companies, studios, labels, and brands to terminate the agreement or penalize an artist for conduct, including illegal acts, public scandals, or behavior deemed offensive that could damage the company's reputation or brand image. I wonder if the reporting of an eventual indictment was enough to trigger such a clause. People saying, yeah, I really wish we knew what his contract said, because they do typically have decency clauses which would allow the label a way out when they want. So I wonder if he is officially indicted, they will terminate the contract they have. But I kind of think people are onto something. They're probably holding on to see how much money they can make, and if he'll somehow end up wiggling his way out of this and make a comeback before they officially burn the bridge, sadly. So they could be stuck in the contract as much as he would be, all depending on the agreements that they set, but I know nothing about what was said or really much about musical contracts, since any contracts I have are minor short-term ones for my photographs. But I do mention that they cannot be used in any way to promote or cause harm, or use on inappropriate websites like ones that support racism, PDFs, or whatever. We need some punctuation on Reddit, people. It says, yeah, this happened sometime in December. Some mogul stuff was removed from his official Facebook page and his name was taken off the list. The only thing he hasn't been dropped from is the Arcane stuff. They're still using his song, and to be honest, a lot of fans supposedly don't mind, so maybe they won't. People saying unrelated, but hey, Nothing Is Awesome, Too Drunk to Drive is great. Is a great song. Who's saying, y'all, it's just superficial. They would never miss the opportunity to make money off him. They are currently still making money from him. If anyone's benefited the most, it's the label. People saying, yes, exactly. As long as all this is over, he'll be earning a lot, even more so when he reappears. His name remains popular even after some time. Some people are saying he's not dropped. It's a cosmetic change. I hope this helps. People are saying, I was just about to say this, contractually, he owes them money and albums, I'm sure. They are just keeping the brand and face card good with the headlines. Their money will still be coming in from what momentum this case brings to his music. But people are saying he's no longer on their list of artists. I don't think that's entirely cosmetic, but people are saying that's just the website. Labels rarely update them accordingly. New signings take months to get added and people take time to get removed. Contracts are done by time periods and percentages of money. Neither label will drop as it's free money. People are saying it's cosmetic. Why the hell would they miss out on the opportunity to make money off his music? Record labels don't just drop artists, and they have represented worse. He's still making money for them. They just won't promote new work, but he will continue to benefit. It's interesting. This is the last one. It says, unfortunately, David has not been dropped from Darkroom/Interscope. The label have paused all promotions, cancelled tour dates, and have shelved an album release for now. So, I do think that it is relevant. I don't think they would have removed him from the site if there wasn't a reason. Maybe it is cosmetic and they're maybe trying to cover it up, but maybe they are priming to actually officially release him. Maybe they're not supporting his music or his career anymore, and it would make a whole lot of sense. But I honestly can't know for sure. But I wouldn't surprise me if the label were gearing up to drop him. I mean, this whole thing has been an absolute disaster. Yeah, get your money, and you got to squeeze whatever you can out of this outstanding contract. But it would really, really surprise me if they were genuinely throwing their support behind this alleged madman. Okay, it absolutely would boggle my mind. But stranger things have happened. I do think that we will be seeing more fallout on a business point of view from this situation, especially if an indictment does land. I personally think an indictment might come in February. That's just my opinion. But I do feel like that is the way these things tend to play out. And there's been rumors and there's been talk of charges potentially coming, but the grand jury have to get through a lot of information before that happens. So once I know more, I will keep you guys updated, but I did think this was interesting. I thought it would be worth making a quick video on. So let me know what you guys thought. Do you feel like this is just a cosmetic change? Do you feel like David's really been dropped from the label? Do you feel like the label are making too much bread on the back end? His streams are still going crazy. He was the most Googled person of last year. 2025 is the most Googled person. David, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. I'll be back with some more videos. I've got like four videos. I've got 4 topics, maybe 5 that I want to make today. And I appreciate everybody that watched that video I did about the Venezuela invasion, because that was a topic I didn't think anybody would rock with. And you guys actually really enjoyed it. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that video, and I might do some more politics going forward. But until then, appreciate you watching this video, and I'm out of here, gang. Peace.